Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm back with another mind-blowing video, very educative. In today's video, we are going to learn how to cut and sew this beautiful bagger pants from start to finish. If you are my returning subscriber, you know you're the channel member. I value you so much. And if you come across this channel for the first time, please do well to subscribe so that YouTube can notify you each time I upload a new video. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump into the video. First of all, I want to start by folding my material into two. But before I do that, let's do a bit of calculation so that we'll know the amount of folds we need. Before we continue, there is a little bit of calculation to know the amount of folds we need to do. Quarter over hip. To know the amount of folds, quarter over hip is 10.5. So I'm adding extra 3 inch to it, which is 18.5. And I will be adding my crotch extension. I approximate it to be 3 inch. So in total, I'm going to fold by 17 inch. So our crotch extension is 2.6. I'm going to run it up to the nearest whole number, which is 3 inch. And if you add this 3 inch plus the 3 inch, which is 6, plus 10.5, which is 16.5. So I'm now running it up to be 17 inch. The amount of fold I need is 17 inch for the front piece. Alright, so go ahead and calculate your own measurement. When that is done, we are going to start by coming down by 1 inch. This 1 inch we are coming down will be our starting line as well as our waistline. Okay, so when that is done, we as you can see, I'm checking to see that I have the exact 17 inch. Okay, you have to know the amount of fold so that you're not wasting your material, or you draft with something that is not up to the measurement that you need. Okay, so I'm coming down by 1 inch. This 1 inch I'm coming down, I said, is the waistline and as well as the starting line. So I'm going to mark a cross point. To do that, I will minus the length of my band. I want the length of the band to be 2.5 inch. So I'm marking the length of a cross point to be 14 inch, since it's going to be a free pant. Otherwise, I will mark the exact cross point. Okay, I make use of 14 inch and I'm connecting it on a straight line. If you want to know the length of your cross measurement, you divide your hip circumference into 4. Okay, whatever you have, that is the, you add 1.5 to it, that is the length of your cross point. Or you sit on the arch surface and measure from the waist to the, surface of the seat or of the table that you are sitting down, and that will be the crush. Still minusing 2.5 inch, I'm taking the length of this pant to be 41 inch plus 1 inch for stitching allowance. Then I connect. I'm inputting quarter of our hip circumference at this crush point. Okay, which is 10.5. I add extra 3 inch, which I told you it will be for the ease and for the sewing allowance. Okay, and from there I mark the same measurement at the waist and I connect it on the straight line. I go ahead to input extra 3 inch. This 3 inch is for the crotch extension. Okay, then I curve it out like this. To know the amount of your crotch extension, you divide quarter of your hip circumference into 4. Let's take, for example, quarter of our hip is 10.5. Then you divide that 10.5 into 4 and you get the crotch extension. So I'm now connecting from that crotch extension. Whatever I have, I connect it straight down. You can decide to make the hem of your pant to be wider than by extending it. Okay, that means your amount of folds will be more than what we have here. After which, I'm cutting it out. Guys, pay attention to the way I cut out. At this waist, I leave about 0.5 inch for the stitching allowance. As you can see, I did not cut exactly on the line. Okay, So moving on, I'm about to cut my back piece, so I make sure I fold my material into two again, making sure that at the top I have at least extra 3 inch. Also at the center I have extra 3 inch. So at the waist, I'm going up. I want the back of this pant to be higher than the front by 3 inch. So I now blend the center back to meet up to the waistline of my front piece. I hope that makes sense. From this front extension, okay, I'm connecting it straight up on a straight line, and at the crotch extension I mark 3 inch. At the this curve side I mark 2.5. Starting from the waist, I'm marking 2.5. okay. At this crotch line, I'm going up by 4 inch, also come down by 4 inch. So I will continue from that line to mark 2.5 inch down. After which, I'm going to blend it up to this crotch line and curve it down like this to this crotch line. Okay. So I will continue to mark my 2.5 inch straight up. I will continue to mark my 2.5 inch downward till I get to the hem of my pants. Okay. After which, I'm cutting it out. Guys, you can see that the aim of the pants is the same. It's only the sizing that is different. 2.5 inch. That is what I use. So by so doing, our back piece is wider than our front piece. And that is what we should go for. So I'm now slitting the pants into two. Okay. If there is any excess like mine, try to trim it off. It's very important you trim it off. So when that is done, we are going to put that aside and cut our band. Okay. Like I said I need the length of the band to be 2.5 inch, but I'm not going to. This 2.5 inch will be on fold. Okay. It will be on fold. We all normally cut our band on fold, but if you don't want to cut it on fold, cut it 5 inch. But because I'm going to stitch it down, I will not cut exactly 2.5 inch. I'm going to make it 3 inch on fold. That is, if I want to cut it open, I'm going to cut out 6 inch. So I'm trying to multiply our waist measurement times 2. The waist I'm working with is 39. So 39 times 2, that is the length of the bands I want. Okay. At the end of the day, you are going to see in the course of this video that I even have more than 2 times of our waist circumference. Okay. I'm going to cut this off camera to save our time. All right, moving on to the sewing part of it, I will take it to the machine, stitch from the waist, stitch down to the crotch area like this by half an inch. All right. So once that is done, this is what we have. The two front piece is now becoming one piece, and the two back piece are also becoming one piece. Okay. So we are now going to join the two pieces together. I place my front piece on top of my back piece like this. I match the crotch area like this. I'm going to stitch starting from the crotch area down to the hem of this pants. I also match the side seam of this pant like this. I'm going to stitch starting from the waist down to the hem of my pants. Okay. Once that is done, guys, I went ahead to cut my pocket off camera. I've been doing this a lot on this channel, so if you don't know how to cut this pocket, watch others of my sewing video. I'm going to drop a link to one of my video that I make detailed tutorial on how to cut this pocket as well. Okay. And the wideness of this pocket is 7.5. Place your hand like this, 1 inch away from your fingertips, and you cut it out. I've also gone ahead to stitch all the sides. I've attached my pockets. I've also stitched the crotch area. Everywhere is being stitched down. So what's left here is to flip it to the right side like this and aim the bottom of our pants. Okay. You fold it like this and you fold it like this and aim it down. If you don't want to sew it, you can use aiming gum to iron it by folding it by half an inch. You iron, you put aiming gum and iron. You further fold it by half an inch and you add your aiming gum and iron. Okay. So moving on, we are going to attach our band now. So we measure out the exact waist measurement that we have. You know, we are not working with our exact waist measurement. Okay. So we have to measure it out. Whatever you have, times it by 2. Okay. And once you see that I have even more than what I supposed to have, that is totally fine. Okay. The length of the band I'm going to be using is 2 inch. So now I'm marking a exact the width of our band. The width of the band I'm using is 2 inch. For the length, I'm marking the exact waist measurement. I'm marking our exact waist measurement, which is 39. From that 39, I minus 5 inch away from that measurement. So that is what I will be using. Try to minus 5 inch away from your measurement because this is elastic. If you use your exact measurement, it's going to be loose on your waist. Okay, so you have to remove some inches so that it will fit perfectly on your waist. I'm marking out my seam allowance, which is 0.5 inch. Okay. And after that, I'm finding the midpoint of this line, this 2.5. I'm going to find the midpoint of it. And after getting the midpoint, from the midpoint, I'm marking 1 inch at the side. Okay, this is the area I'm going to attach my eyelets. So I'm going to use a seam ripper like this. You can use a seam ripper to give an opening, but if you don't have a seam ripper, fold this material like this and give it a very tiny cut. Okay, cut it in a way that you will force this highlight to enter. Don't cut it too open. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the same process on these two sides. Give it a very tiny cut like you are notching it, so that this eyelet you can as well force it to enter. Okay, so I'm going to install my eyelet now before we continue. Let's assume I'm filming this. I mean, I'm filming this video in a daytime. I would have used a local way to install these eyelets. Let's assume this yellow container is a stone. So you place your stone like this. Use the handle of your scissors to aim it down. But because I'm filming this video at night and I don't want to go outside, I'm going to use my eyelet machine to install it. Okay, like this. Ensure that the smaller cover is at the back piece. Okay, while the eyelet itself is at the front, then the tiny cover is at the back piece. You press it down like this flat. Okay, Once that is done, I'm going to mesh my elastic like this, place it on top of each other and stitch it down. I'm going to stitch the length and the side as well. At this point, I will also stitch close my ensure that I join my band together. Okay, I'm going to join my band together. After joining the band together, I'm going to put my elastic this way and stitch it down with less than half an inch. And when that is done, look at what we have. It's looking beautiful already. Guys, if you don't understand what I'm doing in this video, I have a detailed tutorial on how to do this band already up on my channel. I'm going to drop a link in this video. Use a link in this video to watch the detailed tutorial of it. So I'm now bringing my pants up like this. I'm trying to get the midpoint of the band. Okay, from one eyelet or another, get the midpoint. And the midpoint of your pants, this crotch area that we saw, that is the midpoint of the pants. Place it together and also find the midpoint of the band, the back band, and attach it to the midpoint of the back pants and stitch it down. It's very simple. I'm going to do this off camera to save our time. I'm going to stitch it down. Guys, ensure that you stitch it now with half an inch. Okay, stitch it down with half an inch and it will not affect your elastic for now. Okay, so when that is done, this is what we have. It's looking beautiful. At this point, you can choose to leave it this way, or you can run a stitch at the two. I'm going to run 2 stitch at the top and also at the lower of it and insert my rope at one eyelet, and it will come out from the other of the eyelets. Thank you so much for watching till the very end. I love you so much. See you all in my next video. Bye.